The International River Foundation's Australian Riverprize is the largest prize for environmental achievement in Australia, promoting and rewarding innovation and sustainable management of rivers in all states and territories. In 2013, the Australian Riverprize is funded by the Australian Government's Water for the Future initiative through the Water Smart Australia programme, valued at $200,000. The International River Foundation acts as a catalyst for sharing knowledge and encourages both prize winners and finalists to establish extension and twinning partnerships. Incorporated into the Australian Riverprize Award is a $50,000 grant to assist the winner with extension activities, enabling them to contribute to excellence and leadership in river restoration across Australia. Here are the 2013 Australian Riverprize Finalists. Tweed River, New South Wales. Following floods in the late 1980s and the early 1990s, the ecosystem of the Tweed River was decimated several times by acid sulphate soil runoff from agricultural drainage. Over the past 10 years, similar flood events have not resulted in a detrimental impact on water quality and ecosystems, despite fish kills continuing in other rivers in the region. This change is evidence of a vast programme of work delivered by Tweed Shire Council and the Tweed River Committee, combining science, planning, investment and capacity building across all sectors of the community.
Challenges in the Tweed come every year in the way of floods. However, the defining challenge of the program has been to integrate scientific practice, community engagement and on-ground outcomes so we can deliver ecological improvement and economic benefits to everybody in the catchment.
The fish kills of the past led Council to instigate an integrated catchment-wide approach to river management. An ongoing programme of works is now delivered from rainforest gullies to the tidal wetlands at the river's mouth. Council has addressed water quality and river restoration through projects ranging from wastewater treatment plant upgrades to riverbank stabilisation and school education initiatives. Priority projects have been delivered, strategic plans have been prepared and reviewed, and continual practice of monitoring, reporting and adaptive management has been embedded into the Tweed River Management Programme. While there has been a strong focus on-ground works, the cultural and educational values of the river have not been overlooked.
The community has been involved every step of the way with the restoration of the Tweed. It's usually works on private land that contribute to some of our most important environmental outcomes, and it has been community enthusiasm for the river and its restoration that has really driven the political and corporate engagement.
Achievement highlights include 78 kilometres of stream bank rehabilitation, 68,000 trees distributed for free for river restoration from the community catchment nursery, over 6,000 people engaged in hands-on learning via the catchment activity trailer, and importantly, the number of major fish kills in the Tweed River since the year 2000 is 0. Lake Condah and Darlots Creek, Victoria. Restoration of water to Lake Condah, a key site of the Budj Bim National Heritage Landscape, was a long-held vision for Gundit Mara traditional owners. Lake Condah was drained in 1954 against the wishes of the Gundit Mara and surrounding landholders. Drainage of the lake damaged the heart of Budj Bim and further injured fragile relationships between Indigenous and non-Indigenous communities of far southwestern Victoria.
One of the most important aspects of what's been achieved is that we've been able to confirm the ancestors' knowledge of their environment from 8,000, 4,000 years ago, that knowledge is still relevant for today.
To Gundit Mara, the seasonal rising and falling of water in Lake Condah was likened to the beating heart of the Budj Bim landscape. As waters rose with autumnal rains, so too wetlands along the Budj Bim landscape filled, and the eel farming that enabled Gundit Mara people to establish a sustainable sedentary community, amongst the first people in the development of human history to do so, continued. After 40 years of effort, construction of a weir restoring the lake in 2010 brought healing to the Gundit Mara landscape. The achievement was made possible by extensive community engagement and detailed scientific research of Darlots Creek catchment and Lake Condah.
Through other community groups, the local communities here, the landowners, government agencies, scientific and research organisations, universities, we were able to engage with all of those places and people to come together to bring the skills that we needed to restore Lake Condah, and it worked.
The return of the water to the lake now provides the community and scientists with an excellent opportunity to observe changes from earlier benchmark data. The return of water to the lake also allows the traditional story in its broader Budgebim context to be told to tourists and visitors, helping to generate economic activity for Gunditj Mara through a world-class tourism operation. Gunditj Miring traditional owners Aboriginal corporations formed in 2006 to manage native title interests and support Gunditj Mara in caring for country. Glenelg River, Victoria. The Glenelg River, which is located in the southwest corner of Victoria, was at the point of ecological collapse during the mid-2000s due to low flows, poor water quality, loss of habitat and weed and carp invasion. Farming families in the Glenelg River Basin have rallied with conservation groups and industry to carry out what has become the biggest river fencing and protection programme in Victoria's history. Over 600 property owners have constructed 1,600 kilometres of fencing, planted more than 500,000 trees and direct seeded 770 kilometres of waterway frontage.
We've had to overcome significant challenges in undertaking this program on the Glenelg River. It's partly to do with the diffuse nature of the environmental problems that threaten the values in the Glenelg. It's not a simple matter of dealing with 3 or 4 point sources of pollution. We've had to deal with the large number of quite large-scale environmental problems that are occurring throughout the whole catchment and on hundreds of individual properties.
Other achievements of the restoration programme include 2,000 hectares of cross-tenure weed control, the opening of 270 kilometres of the Glenelg River to fish movement, and the establishment and delivery of an environmental flows entitlement. The resulting river health improvements can be demonstrated by the recovery of native fish populations.
We're very proud of how we've worked with the community on this program. We've had a coalition of landholders, community groups, NGOs and agencies, and together we've achieved quite an integrated program of works.
The Glenelg has managed to maintain its original and intact native fish assemblage, and populations have increased by over 150% in restored reaches. The project has pushed the boundaries of conventional river management, and original and innovative approaches have been used, from planning works to flood fencing to tracking and eliminating carp. The International River Foundation would like to thank the Australian Government for their support and congratulates all of the National Riverprize finalists for raising the standard of catchment management in Australia.